Connections. This is our interview segment where we meet some very interesting people making up Korean society and hear their stories. And this week, we are joined by a very special guest. As you heard, it's about the toy piano. As avant-garde and underground as it may be, it is creating a buzz within the classical music sphere with festivals, conferences, and concerts dedicated to it, and even captured the imagination of pop artists like Bruno Mars and Coldplay. So our guest today is a classically trained pianist who has fallen down the rabbit hole of the toy piano. Hwa-young is a pianist and composer, and also currently the leader of the Seoul Toy Piano Ensemble. And she's going to perform for us this morning, so very excited about that. Good morning, Hwa-young, and welcome to our show.
Yeah, it's my great pleasure being at this show. I'm very excited to talk about toy piano.
And we are very excited to talk to you and also hear the toy piano as well. I have to say, not being very musically inclined, I think the last time that I touched a piano keys was maybe decades ago. So when I first heard toy piano, I thought, yeah, very much back to my old days, seeing a very miniature version of a toy piano. So for our listeners, maybe we can start off with like a definition of a toy piano and what the difference is between a toy piano and I guess a regular piano is.
Yes, of course. The real piano, what we call regular piano, actually, if I say this, the mechanism of the piano, the wool felt hammer is hitting the string, the metal string. So the sound, what you just listen is much more a full resonance with the kind of variety of dynamics and a more subtle kind of control it's possible. The toy piano, though, it's for the children. So when it started make it, they used this plastic. It used to be the wood, but now it's a plastic hitting the metal rod. So there is a kind of limited resonance. And also the piano, because it's a string, you can tune.
Yes.
So you can have the precise kind of pitch.
On key, right?
Key, well-tempered system, what we call. But the toy piano, it's just fixed. The pitch is fixed.
So you can't tune.
You cannot tune.
Okay.
So sometimes you hear really off tune. Sometimes it's like, this doesn't sound like fa or sol, whatever the solfege is. But that's the kind of attractive
part.
I
guess. Right. And in size as well, it's a lot smaller.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's sometimes called a tiny piano as well. You brought two of your toy pianos into the studio here with you. So our listeners, if you haven't tuned into our YouTube live streaming with video, this might be a great time because you can actually see the instruments. And I have to say, they look very different as well. So toy pianos, it encompasses a great sort of range of sort of miniature pianos then?
Yes, there are so many. It's kind of interesting, I got like a one Shanhood, which is one of the kind of most renowned company. But even Kawai, if I order a different piano, it has a different unique color, tone color. And even if the same Shanhood, each piano has individual sound. It's almost like the children, they have the very shamelessly individual sound of their voice.
Right.
So as a toy piano is like that.
So you don't know exactly what you're going to get. But again, that's part of the charm.
It is.
Okay. So like I said, I think a lot of people will associate toy pianos with something that they used to maybe tinker on when they were very young and came across in a toy store. So when did it become sort of a serious instrument for real musicians and they started paying attention to this and exploring it as a performance instrument?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I can think of, I think it's in America, 1990, like middle of 20th century, 1940s, 50s, when kind of avant-garde experimental music came along with John Cage.
Yep.
And he actually made this music only for the toy piano. So, toy piano is never in the kind of like full attention for the classical musician, but he was a serious classical musician, avant-garde. But he wrote this piece called Suite for Piano. and a small short solo piece. And that drew a lot of attention from serious musicians around then. And then another big giant, Georgie Crumb, and he used the toy piano in his kind of big piece, Ancient Voice of Children. And he used more kind of experimental kind of music background. But that, I think, definitely hit the,
Right.
audience and the serious composers. And then around like later 20th century, 80s, 90s, 70s, some kind of popular music. You just mentioned like
Bruno Mars.
Coldplay. That kind of draw attention of kind of underground genre of like a pop musicians, and it's because of the tone color. It sounds like kind of very kind of innocent, but also kind of very unique.
I think a lot of our listeners might also associate or they might recognize the toy piano as part of the OST for the French movie Amélie, which was so popular here, and it very well complements kind of that childlike innocence of the main character. And the total vibe of the movie as well. But that's the composing side. I'm thinking as a serious pianist, as you were, and you are, I'm sorry, as well. But for like a classical pianist to make the switch to a toy piano, you might think, oh, is it because the classical piano was just too hard? The toy piano has much fewer keys. I think it might be natural for people to think it must be much easier to play as well. There's just so fewer keys, like 1/3 or 1/4.
Yeah.
So is it really easier?
The short answer, no.
No, you have to practice just as hard.
Yeah, it's not just hard. It's just like you have to readjust everything you got trained. Because first of all, the keys are so tiny and much, much tinier than, so you have to kind of place your fingers on the right position. It's a different kind of aiming thing. And then the depth of the key is it's different. Every toy piano has a different depth. So basically you have to kind of quickly adjust yourself into every different instrument.
Right.
And we kind of used to kind of focus on expressive quality of piano, which means like change the dynamics, crescendo, decrescendo, the pedal. We just like really kind of love that kind of the resonance and that part. But like in toy piano, it's so limited language.
Yes.
So, and also it's off key. So when you play, oh my God, it's very unsettling at the beginning. So you have to kind of have enough time, comfortably kind of adjust yourself with the technical part and expressive part of the instrument. And also it's like a tiny stool. It's the children's stool.
Oh, you have to sit on the tiny stool as well.
So like sometimes I put like a piano like without the legs on the table, or like I sit on the floor with
so it's
cushion.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
But that's the kind of charm when you look at toy pianists. That's like, those are like, they're sitting on the floor making the music.
Well, I think at this point it'd be perfect to actually hear you perform on one of your toy pianos. So tell us about this song. I understand you composed it yourself?
Yes. The title is Birds. It's literally about the birds. So, like last spring when just COVID broke out, spent a lot of time at home. And our apartment is right by the foot of the Ansan Mountain. And somehow, I don't know, the reduction of human activity outdoor kind of bring out the birds. Like, it's so loud and clear. And then I have 3 cats. So they are so excited, just chasing, of course, separated by a window. But watching them is such a joy. And it's kind of meditative at the same time, too. So
inspired you to write this.
So yeah, I just found the kawaii toy piano. I just bought it.
Okay.
And the tone color is very crystal. Sounds like birds.
Excellent.
And I always attract to singing bowl. So,
okay. So you'll be performing for the toy piano and the singing bowls. This is Birds by Hwa-young. Yay! Oh, that was so lovely. Oh, that's I could see almost literally in my head the birds flitting and darting about, and then your cats kind of like darting around, watching them as well. That was so nice and so great for a morning show like today. I had a smile on my face underneath my mask this whole time. That was really nice. Thank you very much. Our listener Terrence Foreman also saying loving it and first time learning about toy piano as well. So you've introduced something brand new to us. I am curious though. I mean, I understand that, like you say, it's been around for a while, but it seems like here in Korea we have not been exposed to the toy piano being like performed like this. So how did you come across it, and what caught your fancy about this?
Actually, when I was in Chicago studying piano performance, one of my dear friend Phyllis Chen, she actually introduced me the toy piano, and then she was like working on the piano. She's like a toy pianist too. But that was like a long time ago. But like my first serious introduction and then really playing was like only 2 years ago.
Oh.
My high school friend Hwa-young came. She's also a music director. And she just like, I'm going to make this toy piano festival.
Oh.
I mentioned about my friend too, but like, she just like, okay, so can you just play for us, you know? So I just learned all this repertoire for the toy piano. And then I'm like, this is so awesome, you know? And then after that, we kind of, a bunch of like high school friends, we get together. And then we were just like, it's kind of side, as a purely for fun. Let's make a toy piano group. So we just kind of came together and then.
So that's the Seoul Toy Piano Ensemble's kind of the beginning of it. It's a bunch of high school friends.
Yeah.
You got together, you said, let's have some fun with the toy piano.
Right.
But then when did you think, this could become an actual festival? This could be, much bigger than it is just now.
Yeah, actually, that part maybe Mia can answer more. But like she's more like kind of into the business kind of mind of organizing those kind of festivals. But like, when we just start the festival, we didn't really expect that much. But somehow, like a lot of audiences and then composers from outside, they were just enthusiastic. Just they love the city Seoul, come here, and then also all kind of like it's a very small crowd, but in a way. I think, and then we start to kind of make YouTube videos because of the COVID. And then like we have such a positive feedback from the audience. So after that, let's just do this as a serious group. Even though all of the members, they have the real kind of the vocation, but like, they kind of do
serious
this.
Classical pianists or musicians.
The teacher and stuff like that. But just like it become kind of more official since like it's only been a year actually.
Okay. Do you want it to become more serious? Do you want it to be taken more seriously by people, and maybe like this can become a full-time job for people as well?
Oh, full-time job. I don't think it's possible because there is no financial.
I see.
We are very self-sufficient. Actually, we are 5 of us, but like we are making music, doing sound engineering, do the like the contract, the sponsorship, and getting the sponsorship. So. I don't think it's a full-time job, but like definitely for me as personal, like I start to compose.
Yes.
I start to compose like with piano, but like with toy piano, I found this kind of very refreshing, attractive charm from those instruments. So it's gonna be serious for me actually.
Yeah.
But full-time job, I have to think about it.
Well, the more you get out there, the more you perform, and the more people hear it, and I think become fans, because just our listeners as well, 2311 saying, what an interesting sound, never heard of it before. So I think that novelty, just people aren't exposed to it enough, but once they hear it, they're fascinated by it. 1213 saying, wow, it feels like if I've watched a beautiful Wonderland animation. And she said, or he said, it was beautiful. Sunny Kim saying, it's funny, sounds like kind of very complex orugol.
Oh,
well. And I have to say, watching you, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners who are watching through YouTube as well, the performance is very different from a sort of a normal or regular classical performance as well. I mean, your body, of course, is very animated, but watching you, I have to say, that's part of the reason why I was smiling.
Yeah.
Because it almost looks like you are playing,
Yeah.
but you're very much into it. And then the sound as well. It's an entirely different performance. Do you feel the difference when you're performing as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I think also that's a kind of, I think we draw attention from the audience when we do the live show because it's much more, it's like, as you said, it's like a playing,
Yeah.
it's like a children's playing. And you suddenly very loosen up, become like a connect with your inner child. The classical, the culture is like a little bit rigid
a bit
and
stiff,
so kind of you have to dress up for the, but this one, I just always make this kind of funny makeup or like do this theatric gesture.
Well, you wear a costume sometimes? Or
Yeah,
do
we have this
see.
one member, Young-ha, she's supposed to come here today. She has a wonderful idea about choreography. So like one video we made was we wear like a bear and a dinosaur, the pajama, and then we just would play like very kind of like a funny way. So yeah, that's such a freedom, and definitely reconnect to your inner childhood. And I think a lot of adults, serious adults, they love to be that kind of way.
I saw some overseas performances of the toy piano, and I have to say, I didn't see any children in the audience, which was quite surprising. Like you say, the performance, I think she graduated from Juilliard. She was the first person to graduate from Juilliard in toy piano, but she had a funny kind of toy nose on as well. But everyone in the audience, very serious, and they're all adults. So it was quite funny to see. But she said everyone who has been to her performance, they may enter having their doubts and not taking it seriously, but once they finish and they leave the concert hall, they have fallen in love with the toy piano.
Yeah, they have smile in their heart, I hope.
So lastly, Hwa-young, I want to ask you, what kind of projects or plans do you have for the toy piano and maybe the ensemble as well?
So personally, I want to more focus on composing, and I'm working on actually kind of arrangement of like a popular, like a BTS song with the toy piano. And also, I want to make a soundtrack for storybooks, children's storybooks. So like it is very imaginative sound. So background music for the storybooks. But our ensemble-wise, we have this one big project coming up with joint project with German toy piano ensemble. So we're gonna do that, but like we tried to do this year, but because of COVID, we postponed next year. But every couple of weeks, every week or every other week, we upload our YouTube video.
Oh, you do? Okay. So we can look for that.
Seoul Toy Piano Ensemble. That's our home channel. So I mean, you can meet us through that YouTube.
We will definitely do that, and hopefully we can have you back and hear some of your compositions again. I want to thank you, Hwa-young, for coming in today and delighting us with your toy piano performance. Thank you.
Thank you so much.